First time did therapy. Was not in a good place. Very emotional. Cried
Were you drinking?
for like an hour. I had been drinking, yeah. I think
Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast, everybody.
I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Johnny DeVito.
And I'm Ty Paulson.
That's fantastic, Ty. Hey, who do we have in the studio today?
Oh my God! Yeah, we got an unbelievable guest. Are you fucking kidding me? Coming all the way from Dublin, Ireland. He's tearing up this fucking comedy scene right now.
This is he ever.
El Scorpion himself, Mr. Daragh the Terror Turner.
Oh, yes.
It's been a long time coming, gang. We tried to do this once, and we punished you for months.
Quite a while. We might have
too long.
forgotten that we were still punishing you.
yeah, weird punishment.
Well, big time fans will remember the episode where you called partway through the
Oh,
episode.
that's
Yeah.
Put you on blast. Put you on blast.
We
so,
did immediately.
so how
Had
you
a
feeling
little
on-
too much fun the night before.
Daragh, if you've ever
we were
listened
there.
to the
We were
show,
like, there's a pod tomorrow. And you're like, yeah.
If you've ever listened to the show, you know that part of my life is showing up to Ty's house hungover on Saturday morning. I've done this 140 times, buddy. What's your
I have not listened to the show. So I did not know that.
Oh, trust me, no one's going to listen to this
dare
one
you.
either.
You're
gonna
going to
get
get 150.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to feel a real bump, Tara. So coming into it, I need a little bit of background story because you might be one of the wildest fellas that I've met in a little while. Very unapologetic. You do your own thing. You brought in an album that perfectly describes that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So give us a little background. What's break down the
Background
origin story.
about me from Dublin, Ireland. Living here 5 years. Started comedy 2 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, that's man of simple pleasures.
And I get sadder every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's rough. Like,
Talk about emotional boys.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, yeah. Comedy's good. It's kind of like therapy, I suppose.
Yeah.
But-
yeah.
A lot less drugs and fucking therapy, but yeah.
As
Yeah.
Men Likes to Party, do you find that you just like you took something that you love and then it just so happens to fit into your lifestyle?
Man, I'm not sure if I like comedy or just drinking. Like, the fact it's in a bar and I'm just drinking all the time, I'm like, oh, I'm doing art. And then I'm just like, I'm just a booze hound, maybe. I don't know.
Jordan Ducharme used to have a bit about that. He's like, I love working at bars. He's like, I work in brew pubs all the time. He's like, because then when I'm drinking at home, he's like, I'm doing homework. I'm researching here. I'm workaholic.
I'm training.
I feel that too. Do you think that because I'm no stranger to a couple pops myself. I do like them, but there comes like a time when if you are taking it seriously enough to pursue it as art, are you waking up in the morning with like with a little bit of dread? I shouldn't have drank so much and should have focused on the set a little bit more, or do you get deeper into
more? Not really. I don't mind doing it drunk. It's more if I do coke before I go up. Then I'm like, okay, that was a
That was
me
a mistake,
decision.
yeah.
That was not
There
for the
is-
art form.
Do you not get like the next day when you wake up and like you can't remember your set? Do you not get the like, oh my god?
I never remember my set. Like I'm never going over the notes. Like it's kind of just, well, that happened, and yeah.
I think this is the greatest part about talking to comics on this thing is that you have many different, ways that people pursue the craft, and you kind of don't really pursue the craft.
Yeah, craft is a strong word.
Yeah.
Craft beer, maybe.
No, I'm loose. I would say, like,
Yeah.
100%.
There's very few people that will come out of like, let's say there's a show that doesn't go so well. You'll come out and you're like, oh, I fucking ate shit out there. You couldn't be more content about it. Like,
I don't mind at all. Moment. Like,
That
you
is
have-
admirable because a lot
Definitely.
of comics will like, especially when you just walk out and you're like, there's a table of comics sitting there, you'll almost like downplay how bad it went or whatever, or try and play it up. You're like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
it was okay, but you'll come out and be like, oh my god.
they hated me.
That's Exactly. They hated me.
When Ravi comes out, because you've been known as the Scorpion King, you know what I mean? So when Ravi comes out, he followed you out of the showroom with a Photoshop picture of a scorpion with your face on it and 2 bombs for claws. And it's the funniest fucking thing that I've ever seen. You know what I mean? So you can like sit in there, because I have like, you know what I mean? I just want everybody to love me and stuff. I've left the house saying to Jackie, I'm about to show these motherfuckers what's what, and returned that evening. Just so bummed.
Tail between his legs.
Oh
like,
yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing
I used
here.
to get so mad. Oh my god.
When you bomb.
Oh my god, dude. I can remember like this is like I was still doing coke and shit. Coming back from like
That'll
an open mic, yeah, help that rage out a little bit. I remember walking back from like Yuck Yucks when it was on 12th at the open mic, and you would get on, you would be there for like 4 hours waiting to go on. And then you would get on for 5 minutes. And it was all awful. And then we go home, and I would like punch bushes on the way down. I would be so upset about it. It's like, yeah, you're like 3 months into this, and it's super high on coke.
I do love.
Your timing's a little off.
That is just like the greatest visual of like a drunk Thai walking down the street and then just pausing and be like,
Yeah. And for context here, this is no side street. This is right down Canby to the SkyTrain station. There just happened to be like one shrub.
Just muttering.
Like,
That
oh,
shrub
perfect.
took a licking.
That shrub sees you coming
Yeah.
every night. Like, oh fuck, here
It's
we
like
go.
you're walking
He's
by.
shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a good time.
Oh
So good.
man, I think so the appreciating the bomb, you know what I mean, wallowing in it or whatever is not necessarily the way to do it. But I'm an emotional boy. You know what I mean?
I don't feel like that at all. Anytime, I don't know. I suppose just when I started, I was bombing all the time. So then once you kind of get somewhat good at it and you're getting like laughs and stuff, then when I do bomb with things I know that are funny, I'm like, oh, these people are all fucking idiots. Like they're the problem.
I admire the confidence.
But you
10
also-
minutes about rape was cool. They didn't get what I was trying to do.
Your
I was
artistic
saying that
vision,
earlier.
yeah.
I love watching. You know, we all obviously know each other's bits and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like Mike's new shit or whatever. But it's like I love when you can see that something like is like okay, like that's like they don't seem to be liking this all that much of my friends or whatever, and then like you kind of know what they've got in the tank or like whatever, and you're like, where are they gonna take
Oh,
this?
there's nowhere else to
And
take
every-
it.
You just keep going further
Every
down.
time you're like, well, we're gonna dig this a little bit deeper.
Yeah. It's just like, well, buckle up because I know exactly where this is going. Yeah.
I remember talking to you outside of a show. We're having a cigarette, and after a bomb, and I was kind of describing like what I might do in that situation, because if you're diving into it, then maybe you'd be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll change gears and do something else. And you gave me the most matter-of-fact dead stare in the eyes saying, I don't have anywhere else to change gears to. This is what I do.
Yeah, Justin said the same. I was like, I texted him and was like, oh, can I do House of Comedy weekends? He said, not really, because it's all kind of racist, or like you need like a friendly lane, which fuck it.
Hey,
He's probably wrong too.
If you think, hey, man,
I mean, stick to your guns.
Yeah,
if you're
dude,
if you don't connect with things that aren't racist, then
Yeah.
don't
It is
force
what
it. I
is,
guess.
man.
Yeah.
You'll find your audience out there, and I think
Oh,
that
yeah,
there's rallies, there's
Yeah.
places
There's-
that you
yeah.
could go to really find your people, and I think they would welcome you with open arms.
Probably.
But
be
I
honest.
mean, like we see crowds that just fucking love you too, which is always fun.
Yeah,
that's always the
I
craziest-
love
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
watching. Sometimes we'll have 2 spots in one night together, something like that, and like that's always the redemption's the sweetest thing
Oh,
ever.
yeah.
I love
it's like
that.
a Day
Yeah.
of redemption
Though
story.
very
Greatest.
rarely, though, I know at least in my case, I could say this personally, does it go that way of
the other way around.
like shitty set and then great set.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, it's
usually
always
great
shitty
set
the
and
other way
then
around.
awful set. You're
Yeah.
like, God damn it.
Yeah.
And then the first one's completely wiped out. You're
Cool,
like, well,
I
that
forgot
doesn't
all
even
about
matter.
it.
Yeah.
If I do 3 in a night, then that's like they get progressively worse because I'm so excited to be out, and you're like, especially if you're at different venues, because you're bumping into people and hey, how are you
Yeah.
doing? And I'll have a drink before my spot, and then get one while I'm on stage, blah blah blah, like that whole thing.
Yeah, by the third
You
set, you're
realize-
drunk as
Yeah,
fuck,
dude.
man.
And you know what I mean? But that's just me. You know, I could be a professional about it, but you know what I mean? Sometimes like Johnny's too friendly. I'm everybody's first friend when they get into comedy. You know what I mean? I'm pretty and I don't remember. Okay, so there's a lovely fellow. I'm not going to put him on blast. If he listens to the show, then
You can
fantastic.
say his name.
Keep
I'll
going.
bleep it out.
Shout out to this
Yeah,
guy.
You know that guy.
The fucking
Yeah.
So I've gone up to him and introduced myself to him several times because I'm like, hey man, how you doing, Johnny? Nice to meet you. Or whatever. You're sitting with all the people that I love. He'll probably love you too. And then he always gives me this. No, we've met a couple times.
And he's like, even like we've had conversations about him. Well, I'll bring him up, and he'd be like, "Who's that guy again?" Or like whatever.
You don't.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no, he's
no.
weird.
And then so last night when we were all sitting at the table after the show, and then Johnny called me or whatever, and I was talking to Johnny for like 30 seconds on the phone. I hang up the phone, and first of all, I hang up the phone.
Oh my god, he's weird. He's a fucking creep.
Yeah, that's a weird move.
I just heard this an hour ago, and it's the funniest thing I've ever fucking heard.
And then he goes, he's like,
Oh my.
I feel fucking awful. And
No,
this
you
has happened.
should. Fuck
This has
you,
happened.
dude.
No, this is because this is not the first time this has happened. And if any Vancouver comics out there that feel like I was really nice to you when you started, and then I've stopped, it's just that I don't remember the conversation that we had when I probably encouraged you to keep doing comedy. Because like it's usually like somebody's like first time coming off the stage, and I'm like, oh, blah blah blah, and I'll compliment if something was funny or whatever, or else I'm just having a cigarette. And I'm a generally pretty nice guy, so I think. You know what I mean? I do this. I fucking do this all the time. Is that I get too festive. You know what I mean, right? And then it maybe puts people into this like feeling of familiarity with me that's gotta suck the next time they see me, and I have no recollection of who they are.
Yeah,
You know what
you're
I
a
mean,
better
right?
friend when you're drunk as fuck.
I'm the
basically.
best friend.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean, right? But like
Makes
you know,
sense.
sometimes like, hey, the captain's dreams, you know, were bad last night.
Yeah.
we don't really remember everything that happened at the high seas. You know what I mean? So it's a weird metaphor. We're trying it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What
Right?
I
So-
love doing is like after someone bombs, going up to them and being like, "That was amazing."
You're patronizing.
so
fuck.
good, and they're just like, "Fuck you." Like,
Great set.
yeah.
I was at a ring show and there was a comic on stage, newer, kind of talking about the sets he's done recently, and he said that he came off stage after having what he thought was the best set of his life, and a comic came up to him and was like, "Hey, don't give up, buddy. Keep going."
Oh,
And he was so confused, and at that moment, I was giggling in the back, and Ravi Khanna turns around, looks me in the eyes, he goes, "That was me." It's fantastic. You know what I mean? Support is good to get from your friends, but I think that like honest criticism would be even better.
Way better.
You know
Oh,
what
I
I mean?
yeah.
don't like if someone comes up to me after and they're like, "Oh, that was good," and I'm like, "I'm not."
Yeah, it
That
just
is-
sucks.
Like, I
yeah.
know that was terrible.
That
you
is
don't need to
like,
lie to me.
Yeah.
that is the worst feeling ever. Is if you like bomb or like even not even bomb, or if you don't do as well as like you normally do or want to do or whatever, and afterwards a comic comes up to you and says nice, like good set or whatever. You're like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like you
It's-
think I
yeah,
need
it's bad.
this?
Yeah. I'll walk off. The worst is like the row that you kind of have to walk to. You like when a hockey player scores a goal and he goes past his bench and knuckles everybody up and
Yeah.
you walk off fucking stage. There's a whole row of comics there and everybody's trying to high five you and knuckle you and shit like that. And I just have this look on my face like I'm just disgusted. You know?
Yeah.
Literally, I would
just
be like,
took
put that away.
Shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You notice, like, I'm starting to fucking, like, I don't know, I'm starting to do this thing that I'm noticing, like, during the bomb, this is like, as I'm starting to perspire a lot more than I used to be. My
You
body's
feel
falling-
yourself sweating on
Yeah,
stage?
my body's just giving up, right? I got a little
Yeah.
gout action, there's heartburn, there's a whole lot of things that are going on, hemorrhoids and shit. Like, this whole thing is fucked up, and I'm just starting to notice now, like, perspiration being an issue.
Okay.
And I'm just going to be a sweaty guy now, too, on top of all the other problems. Yeah, and, like, I think...
Jesus fucking Christ, man. What the fuck?
I think that there's ways that I can handle situations a little bit better because I just love doing everything the way that I'm doing it, and it's kind of coming clear that I'm not going to be able to continue.
Oh, definitely.
To do
I think
this,
that about I drink
know what I
like
mean?
far too much, and I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, I shouldn't be drinking every day.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, but I'm doing comedy every day. And it's like, Yeah, the two don't need to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like I could do it without drinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
Many
and, like,
ways to skin a cat. Like
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
many ways.
It's
to
tough
relate
though,
to
man. It's
felines.
like you're at bar every fucking night, basically. Like it is. It's tough. It's
Oh,
why
dude,
it's why I bounce a lot of the time. To be honest with you, I'm like, all right. There are definitely like I'm better now, but there is like I still had nights where I'm like, oh, I gotta get the fuck
Dude,
out
if
of
it
here.
gets to the point, and like especially like the remaining
I
crew,
usually give
who's
Johnny a
there,
little nod, and he
Yeah,
he tells me that someone needs to continue to carry.
somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's
You
got to
be
carry
light-
the torch.
You be the light in the darkness for us. But there will be moments where, like, if like especially like as if it's like fucking getting to the end of the late show, comics start filtering out, and it's me and Daragh and like Will are the only guys that are hanging out. You can see it right in your face. You're like, I love you guys, but I got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. That's why I drive to shows, because I never used
It's
to.
a great
even, like-
out too, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's because even when I first like got a car in the city, we would never drive to shows because I'd be like, well, I'm gonna get shit faced or whatever. Because I was like early days of comedy, but now I drive to every show, and so it's like, okay, well, I can't fucking have more
Yeah.
than a couple drinks.
I'll drive there.
Yeah, he drives there.
oh, really? You can drive again?
Oh yeah, buddy.
What?
They catch
Oh,
me,
buddy,
catch me on the
last year,
fucking.
this fucking guy.
I
I
thought
you
you
were
had
last
a
year.
Dewey.
Yeah. Oh, I got Dewey, sure, but it took me, after 9 years, you tend to stray.
9 years
Yeah,
is how
yeah.
long they fucking check you?
No,
No.
it's just like how long it took me to deal with it. Because I was like, fuck y'all. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
You're
just
the
not
only
gonna
one
do
I
it.
showed them.
Well, like, oh, you're not gonna get drunk Johnny back on the road, like the poor community.
I'll show
Whatever will
you.
they
Yeah.
do?
It's basically how it went down. And then when I showed back up, it was weird too because I thought that I had like a whole lot more fines than I actually did. So when I kind of came back, like stuff might have expired or whatever the case was, but it was actually a few thousand less than I was expecting to spend, which was very nice. Shout out to ICBC's Responsible Driver Program.
Yeah, he had
know what
to
I mean?
Cheers to the White Claw.
White Claw iced tea.
know
Yeah,
what I
he
mean?
had actually earlier this year. Viewers might remember you talking about this program that you were
Yeah, I loved
required
it.
to do for how long was it? Was it
It was
8 weeks?
8 Saturdays or Sundays where you
Sundays.
had to spend like 2 hours on a Zoom meeting with like a group kind of therapy session basically, with this one lady kind of leading the charge. And
Was she hot?
the first one that I showed up to,
Jesus Christ, Eric.
no, the first one that I showed
His
up
first
to.
question about every therapist.
Yeah.
Better be
Would
hot.
you bang her?
Yeah. Can't wait to tell her my name is
Kinda had,
Sebastian.
remember like the teacher from Recess vibes?
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, okay,
not bad.
she was
Kind
hot,
of like a
yeah,
hippie,
okay.
kind of like with the big hair and stuff like that. More Italian in the dark, but it was, you know what? Yeah, it would actually. But anyway, so we're sorry. Anyway, I was in the first meeting.
Daggers.
What's her name again?
I have no idea. I don't remember that bitch. Who are we talking about?
Wow, you're sleeping on the couch and that bitch is getting murdered. That's crazy.
I got a kink in my neck. Please don't make me sleep on the couch again. So what happened was when I first showed up is like everybody's lying about how they got your DUI, right? Because you're in there with like 4 people, or sorry, like 10 people. We all fucked up, and you could tell we're all downplaying the scenario. When I got my DUI, I was absolutely shit faced. Cops watched me leave the bar, turn the lights on, and all my friends were outside smoking, like outside the bar, and I didn't want to get like arrested in front of them, so I'm just like, oh, let's go a couple blocks and get out of here. So now the sirens are on, and it's like a chase now apparently, and I didn't want to get arrested like on Main Street too, so I was like, I turned off the side street, and at that point, when the cops came up to my window, both my passenger tires were on the curb. Like I was fucking
Yeah,
shit-faced.
what the fuck's up with that?
I cut
in
the corner
Ireland,
a
we
little too-
park our tires on the curb.
What?
Over here, you like
Well,
when
I
I
was
moved
Irish.
here, I was
Because
like,
everyone in Ireland is shit faced all the time.
I was parking Irish for sure.
that was an Irish park.
Yeah, that's not like that's just how it is.
Yeah. So like, it was weird because it's like one of those like group kind of like therapy sessions or whatever. So like I kind of started it off because like nobody wanted to like start talking or whatever. But it's the first one. We all have to fucking do the thing. So it's like everybody share your story or whatever. And like I kind of told mine, and then everybody else was like down, like, well, that's kind of, you know what I mean? This is a couple of drinks at a work thing. I maybe had 3 drinks and, got pulled over and blew over. So everybody's just like not saying like how much of a fucking degenerate that they were. Okay. Except this one guy. It gets to fucking Dale or whatever his name was. And it goes to Dale and he's like,
Is there an anonymous component of these meetings?
no, it's not anonymous. You're doing this to get your license back. This is through the government. Like you have to, like this lady has to sign off on your thing.
there's no
so that
code of
they'll
silence.
give you-
No, normally
No,
in
no,
an
no.
addiction meeting,
Everything's
it's
on
like don't spill these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely don't use first
So
names.
he gets
He's like, there's a serenity prayer, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This fucking guy gets his turn up there, and he's like, yeah, so it's kind of bullshit, but I caught a Dewey, which is like right away. If he's calling it a
say
Dewey.
Dewey,
like,
yeah.
Say I caught a Dewey.
Like
yeah.
this guy saw the
This
first
isn't
one.
your first rodeo.
And he's not saying how much he drank. He was saying how much of a bullshit speed trap this is in his neighborhood. Whereas like the cops shouldn't even be there. Like the whole fucking time. And like so like I just knew I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get through this thing if I got Dale here with me because like this guy's a beauty and I can't wait to anything that
Birds
he's
of a
gonna say.
feather.
It's gonna be awesome. Exactly, right? But the whole thing is if you miss one session of this thing, then you're fucked and you have to start it all over again.
Fuck.
So the next one he missed, and then I never saw Dale again. So I just have this like somewhere there's like my spirit animal just like wind in his hair, and he's just doing donuts like drunk in like a kid's playground in a school field somewhere
Just
or something.
truly free.
Just exactly. This is a free bird. So we're driving without a license because you know what I mean. Sometimes these things happen. Daragh, have you ever caught a Dewey?
Have not caught a Dewey. I don't drive. I had a similar thing though. I done therapy for the first time, and it was like on a Zoom call.
Oh yeah.
So I did it. It was like TELUS Health.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, we give you this person, and first time did therapy. Was not in a good place. Very emotional. Cried
Were you drinking?
for like an hour. I had been drinking. Yeah, I stopped doing Zoom sessions because a couple of the ones I did,
you got a little bit too
I was like,
comfortable.
fuck, I got therapy in an hour. I need to go home. I'm still out from the night before. But I'm like, this isn't, like, you can't even look at your eyes in the camera because you're, oh, God.
Oh my God.
But,
Can turn my camera off.
yeah.
Is the therapy, because I used TELUS Health for the first time recently, is the therapy through like MSP as well, or do you have to pay?
Oh, I don't have MSP.
Oh, okay.
I just
You
got
don't pay
this
for
like
anything.
it was like a fucking like a DoorDash coupon. It was like 4 free sessions. But
You thought that really turned you around? Huh?
yeah, right. But I did it. Fucking did like I think 2 of the 4 and was like pretty heavy. Just being like, okay, I have no one to talk to, venting to this random Asian dude, and was like, I'm never gonna meet this guy because like obviously they match you up with someone you'll never run into. I was like, this isn't a real person. I can vent to him, tell him like wild, dark shit. Like, and then I go to a comedy club
Yeah.
and I'm like, holy shit, that Asian man looks familiar. And I was like, nah, I'm being racist. They all look the same. And then
Daragh Turner, everybody.
I went back the next night and I seen him again. And I was like, holy shit, that dude looks familiar. And I was like, is that my therapist? And I was like, no, it can't be. And I went and asked him. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm your therapist. And I was like, you could have fucking told me we live in the same city. And he does comedy. And
He does comedy?
He does comedy. He's a comic. And he's not good. He's really fucking bad. His name is Michael Chang.
Oh.
You're shit. He's fucking... I didn't like him.
You know,
Because like I think you're caught in your head there because we were there.
I
this
was gonna
night.
say,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No,
I was
because
hosting the
this was
show.
yeah. This
Oh, shit.
Was this at
because this night was
Comedy After
memorable
Dark?
for-
Susie's, yeah.
Yeah.
This night was memorable for another reason because this was it was the open mic at Susie's
Marathon
and
30
Yeah.
comics,
Johnny was
yeah.
hosting and
This
I
is
had
the one
just
that-
come from a roast battle. I had won the roast battle when I was at Calabash and walked over and it was like a marathon open mic and we get to
Do you do that and sing Grizzly or?
We out here.
we get to the end.
It's like Avatar when they plug into the fucking horse.
we get yeah, we get to the end and Johnny's like, hey, do you want to go on or whatever? And I was like, oh, I've been here all night. I'll go on. And it was me and then you, and you were gonna like close out the open mic.
Okay, fuck you. Air quotes. What the hell? I'm
Jackie
the
was going,
headliner of
Jackie
the
was
open
going
mic.
scorpion if you don't
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
what just
Scorpion.
happened.
And
didn't want to, though, so it's
I
both
didn't
like-
want to.
so-
it was like
yeah.
being convinced, and then as Johnny goes on stage and is bringing me on stage, and then the lady faints.
That's
in the
right. I
fucking-
remember this. I was there.
But Johnny didn't
Yeah.
see it, so then he brought me.
We were
on
all
stage.
there.
Yeah.
I was probably wasted at the time.
Yeah, and so then I had to do 5 while like paramedics were coming in and shit, and then
Dude, the fucking therapist helped her, and
I was,
I was
gonna
like
say your
everyone's
therapist
favorite
helped her,
guy.
and
yeah.
then I did that, and then you
Shit.
still went on after me, and we're doing like your
While
Asian
ambulance is in
stuff.
there and you're like so before that I'm talking to you and you're trying to like we're trying to chat a little bit, but like I'm hosting a 30 comic open mic, so I'm just kind of doing this thing. But throughout the show, I'm bumping into you and you're getting progressively more drunk, and you're telling me how excited that you are that your therapist is in the room and that this is going to revolutionize comedy.
Okay, yeah.
Nobody's ever done a set like this. Like, you're about to tear this motherfucker apart in your mind. And everything, like, this woman almost dies. Ambulance is coming in during Jackie's set. Paramedics are fucking tending to this person. And I'm looking at Susie and I'm like, do I keep this show going? And she's like, yeah, keep it going. So that's when I bring you on stage to just like an epic bomb of the longest closing.
It was so.
That was
And
awesome.
by the way, I had no idea that your therapist was Asian because you were doing your signature bit.
No,
which
I don't think I did.
No,
I think I
you
more.
did.
Oh, really?
Because I remember being like, "Oh my god, he's doing that bit right now. This lady is
but then-
unconscious."
Yeah, I had a therapy session like a day later, and he fucking after my set, I was like, oh, we're gonna chat and shit. He just went off, and was like, bye, and like immediately left. So I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll go to therapy again. It's on my phone. And then he just opened it up. He's like, oh, how was your week? And I was like, pretty fucking weird, dude. Like, a woman nearly died, and you are stalking me.
Oh my god.
You're stalking me.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh
How's
my
your
God.
week, dude?
man, he was so blasé about it. He was like, oh, I can imagine how that would be uncomfortable to see me in public. I was like, yeah, you could have. Like, I told him I was a comic. He never mentioned he was.
Why'd you
That's
show me
so
your dick,
weird.
too? That was
Yeah.
super weird.
Did he go up?
He is so bad. I've seen him multiple times.
Yeah, but it was
since.
no
That
open
was
mic,
not the
so, like,
question.
I was
Oh, so that was
weird.
not the question.
I don't fucking.
He's like, did he
terrible
go up?
comedian.
Oh, I fucking hate it.
Yeah, he's an absolutely terrible.
He
comedian.
does comedy, and he was in a room during like a 30 comic fucking shit open mic. So I'm assuming that I would have brought him on stage at some point. Was that?
I don't think he did because the first couple of times I seen him, I didn't realize he was a comedian. I thought he was just a fan. A fan.
As
God,
a
who
therapist,
am I?
you really
Not of
shouldn't be
me,
doing
of-
comedy.
Yeah, of comedy. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
That's so weird.
That is
Dude, his
awesome.
jokes aren't even about. I was like, when I seen him go up, I was like, he's gonna talk about me or like,
Jokes aren't even about me.
dude, he talks about like pissing on a toilet seat or something. And I was just like, or his bitch wife. I don't know. Fucking,
That's got to be hard to take a therapy session from someone who's doing
Exactly,
stand-up
because that
comedy.
completely
Yeah.
changes.
I'm like, what are
the
you?
dynamic.
What are we talking? Well, one, like we're gonna know each other, but even
Yeah.
if you like didn't know each other, like if I wasn't doing comedy and I found out that my therapist was a stand-up comedian,
Was
I'd
an
be like,
open
we're
micer?
good. We're good.
Yeah.
It'd be so
I
funny
feel
if you
like
started
I-
one
We're
bits by
good.
you.
Like, I have no respect for you anymore.
I
yeah.
signed up with him because it was like his bio said it was like used to be a welder but got injured in a pipe fitting accident. And I was like, oh, this guy gets depression. He'll be
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And then, yeah, he's.
Does he ever ask you like, so like, what's so you on these dating apps? You guys on these?
No.
Or like, does he do like shitty premise setups and stuff like that?
No,
so he can
it
get a
was,
rise
What's
on you?
the deal with your depression?
That would be fucking hilarious. Like, you're just breaking down to him, just divulging like the deepest, like core of your emotion. At the same time, like he's trying to bounce ideas off you. For a fucking
He's
joke.
like,
he's
hang on.
taking
Let
notes.
me run this bit by you.
That's
What do you think of this
awesome.
impression?
yeah.
Yeah,
Do you like
that show-
impressions? Yeah.
You know that show? You know that show that I saw you at? Yeah. Who books that?
He's trying to get spots. It's so good.
God.
What was your week like? Where were you exactly? Yeah.
Yeah, where
He's
were
just like
you?
writing down your schedule.
I would love if halfway through your session, he's like, "So what else? What else do I want to talk about?"
It's all
What else-
about it.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
he's checking his
I'm a
notes.
therapist. I had this Greek client. His name is Sebastian.
Oh yeah, that's a weird crossover. To be a
Yeah.
therapist and a
I can't
comedian.
just know you can't respect on either end of that.
No,
because
there's no respect.
there's like
there.
one is like what. Why are you doing comedy? Like you should. There's probably something severely wrong with you. You
Yeah,
probably
you
shouldn't
shouldn't
be
be.
telling people how to fucking do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then two, if you're in comedy and you don't really have any, like if you're like pretty level-headed person, you're probably gonna suck. So it's like, I
Well,
also have no
apparently
respect
he
for
does
that end
suck.
of it too. Yeah.
Well, like
Either
it
way,
could
it
be
doesn't
like
add
a
up to me.
weird like if you go to like where the business is, like there's a lot of my friends, like when we were working up north, a lot of my buddies party, but you're in like a dry camp or whatever, so a lot of plumbers also sold coke. You know what I mean?
What do you mean a
right?
dry camp? Like
A
they
dry
don't
camp
have.
is, yeah, you're not allowed to have booze in it.
Why?
Or like depends, right? For some reason, some camps are completely dry. Some camps
One bad apple,
are wet.
One Daragh Turner in
I
there.
went up
ruin
to
the whole
the
They
whole
camp.
can't,
Yeah.
Like at the work site where you live, you can't have booze.
In some places, yeah.
Fuck that.
Oh yeah, it's awful, right? So I went up one time to a wet camp, and I was working.
Wet camp.
Wet
It's something
camp.
different entirely. Yeah.
It's like a
This
fucking sexual room.
I think this was in elementary school.
It's me you're talking about.
Yeah.
I got weird shit happened. We don't need to get into it.
One
But-
time at wet camp,
So
everything happened that you thought it would. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but you're there you're working like 12 hours a day. We're there for like 14 on and 6 off or something like that. So after a 12-hour shift, you go a couple beers. You're not getting like super trash. A couple nights we definitely did. But on the first time that we were coming home, because they needed so much help up there that we were out of Kelowna, and a bigger company kind of hired us to come help them. So we were like subcontract. So we had like a separate contract kind of to
We don't play by your rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we went out there
Rock
on a
to the
wet
beat of
camp,
your own drum.
and basically, so the owner of my company is like, this is like a huge deal for our company. This is like huge money that they're paying, and blah blah blah. This doesn't really happen to a lot of guys, like especially if you're just like working regular, like small town kind of commercial construction. So we get flown up there, and on the way back, we get our paycheck comes in after we've been out there 14 days, right? And we got like our fucking. Like I'm a fucking second-year apprentice. I've never seen like 10 grand just on a check, like just right there.
You got paid 10 grand for 2 weeks?
Yeah, dude, it was insane.
Fuck.
Yeah, so like we were like, I mean, I was an apprentice, so I maybe 8, but like my journeyman and stuff were like 10 to 12. So we were like blown away, and we were just like, let's fucking party. So on the way home, we fly back into Kamloops, and we drank so much at the airport before there and on the flight that when we got off, it's a small airport, and you land like right on the tarmac, and a couple of my coworkers get off, and there's like this like baggage cart or whatever, like this like little car or whatever that drives your baggage, from the plane to the airport. 2 of my buddies are like wrestling and jump onto it and start like wrestling on it, and another guy that I work with just got off, and he's like, fucking thank God, and he just unzipped his pants and took a piss on the tarmac.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty wild, and I was living in Vernon at the time, so I got picked up at that airport, went back, didn't hear anything about it for 6 days or whatever, and then I show up back for the next turnaround, and the owner of the company is standing at the airport. She fucking rips a strip out of all of us for the way that we acted on the way back. He's like, you don't understand how big of an opportunity this is for you guys and for our company, blah blah blah, this whole thing. So he's like, the only way that because this the job site up there is so big that it has its own airstrip. So you fly from Kamloops to this fucking airstrip, right?
Oh, wow.
So so like these people like called back to like CNRL, which is like a massive oil company and stuff like that. We're like, these fucking Kamloops kids are fucking animals. So they had to renegotiate our entire contract that this is an entire wet camp, but the 16 of us can't drink. So
Wow.
you have
can't
key
be
cards that could go to
dry
the
in a
bar and
wet
stuff like
camp.
that. Yeah, so like our key cards wouldn't work to scan into the wet bar and shit like that. And if we
Oh my
tried to scan
God.
them, then we'd be in trouble for trying to go in and shit like that. It was
Oh
gnarly.
my God.
So then we
Yeah,
were
people to boot for you.
yeah. So we resorted to much wilder shit to get fucked up.
Yeah,
And,
man.
like that's what as soon as you like lock
Start
one door.
sniffing petrol and all
It got pretty wild. Got pretty wild. We had a couple private parties.
Couple cans of whipped cream.
Yeah, my buddy got kicked out because
now
the
there's a man
cleaners-
who loves a whip, and it's
we got kicked out for all kinds of shit. Like my buddy, we were gonna pound all the beers, and he said that we were done, but he took like 4 beers that he was just gonna keep for himself or whatever, and he put them in the fucking toilet tank, like behind or whatever, to hide him, and cleaners found it. He got kicked out like the next day and shit like that. Like so you
They're
can't.
cleaning the fucking toilet tank?
Apparently that lady did. It was fucking crazy. Then
Yeah,
a guy
this is fucking
overdosed
real
on heroin.
mafia
And
shit.
then fucking, so this one guy like overdosed and died. So we're going to work at like 6 a.m. and we see like ambulances and this guy's on a stretcher and shit like that. So we're on our way to work, and somebody that's been up there is just like, oh, I hope you guys don't have anything in your room. And we're like, what? Like somebody just fucking overdosed right there. They're going to send dogs through this whole camp and do like a calling of like everybody that's fucked up. So I'm like, oh shit. So
You got blow in your room?
I don't have anything in the room, but like I'm a fucking drug user, so like I'm assuming that you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you, like,
yeah.
You when you go into an airport, you're like, I fucking know.
Yeah.
Dude, my friend just got caught in New York. He fucking didn't realize he had like fucking 6 packs of coke. He's trying to fly back here. Yeah.
What happened to him?
Hey, he got back. I don't know how he got back. I haven't chatted to him about it, but like 2 of
Snitch.
them went on a trip
Yeah.
from Vegas.
Wow.
And
Jesus Christ.
when they got to the airport, they were like, just opened his
Kinda
wallet
shitty
and
drug-
emptied
Hey,
6
what
packs.
kind of shitty drug
And he was
user?
just like, shit.
Yeah.
They were not
I must
cool.
be rolling it, man. There's no way I would have forgotten about 6 bags
No
of coke.
shit. Yeah.
He's not doing too bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing all right.
Seems like he's doing okay.
I'll
That's
find
fucking
some
crazy.
empty ones for
Yeah.
sure.
So when so about 2 hours into work or whatever, of course they come up to me and there's a problem back at camp. So there's a whole bus now of guys. There's like 50 of us, and we're all going back to camp because they put the dog into your room, and if the dog sits down, then they have to like put a lock on that door, and you have to come back and sign papers that they can search it and all that shit or whatever. So you have to go through that whole thing. So I'm going through it, and I'm like, what could possibly be in my room? And as like a burgeoning writer, and you know what I mean, like my favorite thing is, especially like at the time, was like on this like laptop, like all the time, just writing all my stupid little dick jokes and stories and whatever, and I smoke joints, and I type on my computer. So they took my laptop out, and before searching anything, they just pulled out a little swab and swabbed across my keyboard.
Oh.
And they were like, if this swab comes back with like a yellow on it, then it's positive for like THC or whatever, and then
You're
and you're done. So they swab it, and it's like comes up like red, like there was so much THC and like weed crumblies that was like between
inside
my
the
keys.
keyboard.
Oh,
Yeah,
course.
the letter S hasn't worked for
Wait,
months.
you're not even allowed to smoke weed up there?
No, dude, it was fucked up. So then I got
This
so
would
we
have
had to
been
go
before
and take a
weed
piss
was
test.
legal,
And
too.
yeah. This was,
Even
this
then, the
years ago.
booze thing, like you sign contracts, whatever that is, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're, because they're pulling like fucking like hundreds of thousands of barrels of oil out, like this is like a massive, like this is like the
Okay.
entire country's economy is like on
Yeah,
wheels.
they don't want
yeah.
fucking
And it's
dudes.
super dangerous up there too, right? So
Yeah.
you can get really fucked up. So, when I got kicked out, we're coming back to the airport, and that one we didn't fly out of like the actual airport on site. They drove us back to Fort McMurray so that we had to figure out our own shit, right? Like we had to buy our own plane tickets, and like you're fucked, right? So we're back there, and the airport is packed with dudes that are just choked. And I'm like, holy fuck, the lineup at the bar is just like out of control, right? Because everybody's just getting tested and getting kicked out as they go, right? They're just filling up buses and sending guys home. So my flight home to Kelowna had like 100 guys on it that were all fired. There was in the airport, there was like, I think there was like 112 of us or something like that. And everybody was nuts. So we're all talking at different shit. And it's like, this guy had blow on him. This guy had steroids on him. This guy had fucking, like, it was everything that you could imagine. One guy was up there selling TVs and shit. Like, it was just like turned into a black market
You
and
just
stuff.
had
So
weed on your keyboard.
I was such a pussy, yeah, man. And I looked at this guy.
Please tell me you had child porn on that laptop.
Totally, yeah. I was kind of saying,
Have something
that's
cooler.
all we need to see here. Let's look no further, boys.
Well, you caught me red-handed.
Pesky old weed.
And yeah,
Can't believe I didn't close that browser.
so like I thought I was the biggest pussy that was there or whatever, but there was this kid that was next to me, this like long dreads and kind of like this like the band POD. This guy looks like he plays in POD. Anyway, fucking he's on there and I'm like, I just look at him and I'm like, obviously weed, right? And he was like, no, I haven't smoked weed in years and shit. He had a flush kit in his room just in case he was gonna get fucked up.
What's a flush kit?
A flush kit is like where you
get
take
all your
this thing.
piss out of you and
Yeah,
fucking
so like
For a
you
drug
get
test.
yeah,
yeah.
for a drug test, yeah. So he had that, so he had been clean the whole time, but he was like, well, just in case I get fucked up, he had that in there. So
And they
he-
kicked him out for that?
yeah, for just in case having it. Yeah, he pissed clean anyway, but they still had the contraband or whatever. It was crazy, yeah.
Fuck.
So that was no fun.
Man, piss tests are sick. Growing up, my ma
You
piss
faked one?
yeah, my ma piss tested me, and I had to get my friend's piss, and we like put it in a bottle. And I remember I went home, and she was like, "All right, you take a drugs test now." And I was like, "All right, give me a sec. I just have to go warm up this bottle of piss." And I go in the bathroom
just
and like. No, put it like fill up the sink with hot water
yeah.
and just let the bottle sit in it for
Yeah.
like a minute or two.
Yeah.
Why was your mom piss
Hot.
testing you?
Because she didn't want us doing drugs.
Hey, I might.
And we
I've
were
been
doing
piss tested by
drugs.
My mom too. My mom did it like I got injured. I think it was like my ankle got broken or something like that. My back was all fucked up. So I was going to the doctor for something else, but my mom works in healthcare, and like these doctors are like they're friends of hers. This guy, the doctor even told her this is unethical. Like I should. Like,
Shouldn't you? Yeah, it was weird. I was like,
That is like
yeah.
a
she's like, I
And they-
know you're
crazy.
stoned.
But
I
they
was
caught
like,
me on a good week because when I was a kid, like I was fucking doing everything, and they just got me on a good week where I was only smoking weed and drinking or whatever. So like the way my mom tells the story is, she felt really bad about it or whatever, and like lied to me. It's like, oh, I'm like a sore back. So they're like, oh, so it was a blood test too, actually. So it wasn't even a piss test. They were just taking blood from me.
Jesus, they're
Oh
really
my
digging
bringing
Yeah.
you to a doctor is a whole different.
Yeah,
kettle
which
of
is
fish.
insane, right?
Yeah,
Which is like
that's
I know
kinda
we've
crazy.
come out on the other side of that. It's pretty fucked up, but but at the same time too, like she fucking had no other option. We were fucking animals, right, running wild.
Yeah, of
So
course,
yeah, I guess the doctor just came back to him and was like, hey, if he's just like smoking weed and like he's doing okay. Like, you probably shouldn't bring him in to get like secret piss tests.
No, ours was like a homemade one. You get it at the pharmacy.
Oh,
like a little
crazy.
dipstick.
Homemade. Yeah.
Congratulations, you're pregnant.
They literally basically- it was like if the lines had every like drug and like she'd be like
just swish it
this,
around
the
her mouth
fucking
and fucking spit
amphetamine.
it out.
Yeah, the most my parents never cared about me smoking weed, except one time they sat me down and said that they think that it makes me too apathetic. And they're like, I don't care if you smoke weed, but just like pretend that you give a shit about anything. That was the biggest, the closest I got to a piss test.
Hilarious. Could you just pretend to give a shit?
Yeah.
No, I'm generally disinterested.
Yeah, it's high school. Have you been there?
Yeah.
It's fucking dumb.
Yeah, oh, I could see you being a bitch in high school. Like,
All right. Elaborate, please.
just like Miss Cool or whatever. No.
No, I mean,
No,
like,
as-
definitely, like,
as you
can be
found
a
out
bitch,
last
but,
night
like,
with-
yeah, I was gonna say you got a glimpse into how much I freak out when I see someone from high school. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed.
Oh my God. Yeah.
In middle school, on the other hand, was a completely different story. I cyberbullied some people.
Oh
But,
wow,
like,
really?
yeah. Well, I mean, like, she kind of started it, but anyways.
Dude, there was this. She has now since transitioned. I don't know what her new name is, but her old name was Rachel. And growing up in primary school, she had a thing for me, this girl. Another girl pretended to be me, hacked my email or whatever, and like wrote to her for a whole summer.
Whoa.
Oh wow.
Pretending to be me, saying that I like was into her or whatever. And then I ran into her on the street and she was like, hey, and I was like, sup? And like went to walk by her because I didn't fucking know any of this.
my
And she was like,
God.
she's like, did you mean everything you said in those emails? And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, and she was like, everything you said to me. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my
And then
god.
she looked really upset. And then I later found out.
Aw,
Oh, dear.
poor
Oh,
girl.
wow.
I
Kind of
ca-
funny though. I respected the bit. Like
Yeah.
the
You're
fact
like, I wish I would've known.
I was completely unaware. Like she's just doing it for pretty funny.
My friend and I catfished someone once because we were like, it was like this guy from her hometown who she didn't like. So, and he was in a relationship. So we pretended to be like, I don't know, got pictures of some girl from the internet and pretended to be this girl and like got him to say that like he wanted to like meet up with her and stuff and like screenshotted it and sent it to his
Oh, you bitch. Fuck you. What are you doing? Like, come on. Like,
Well, actually, no. We didn't send it to
Oh,
his
these
girlfriend.
bitches be
We didn't.
diabolical.
No. We didn't send it to. We screenshotted it and then told him we're like, we're gonna send this to your
We
girlfriend.
need
Got
$50,000.
got him to like beg for mercy or whatever.
Oh
and then,
my god.
but there was another time too. We also like, not really catfish, but we like created these Facebook profiles where we were like a middle-aged couple and that were like really sexually explicit, and so we like created this whole like
You were. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
into this.
like literally spent like an entire summer like building these profiles and making posts and like commenting on it.
Why?
So funny.
Yeah, and then we
This
would, like,
is early days of the internet. This is
yeah,
fucking internet
and then
shit.
we'd
dude.
comment on our friends' shit, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, who are these weird people?" And then, but then they would go and look at the profiles, and there was all this backlog.
So funny.
Yeah,
Just weird
Real
hot
pervert
tub
couple.
photos and fucking
That's
like
awesome.
Yeah,
So-
and then I remember at one point I got nervous because I was like the old lady and like middle-aged lady, and she was the dude, and I was like she was taking like pictures for all different guys like she found on the internet, but I was using this one lady who I found online. I was using all of her photos, and then I got like paranoid that she was the lady whose photos I was using was gonna like find out. Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I ever. I was gonna say that's fucking insane. To make somebody beg for mercy because they're a piece of shit is really cool. Like we were watching Dirty Work, you know what I mean? Like that's like the
what a film.
the ideal.
You not seen Dirty
outcome.
Work? Norm
Norm
Macdonald.
Macdonald,
It's,
already I love
Norm
oh,
Macdonald,
dude, it's
yeah.
like Oh, it's so funny.
Classic. Just a
Yeah,
really
we watched
silly
it the other day.
movie kind of
Yeah.
based on revenge, right? Where if you hate somebody, like, it's the whole plot of the story is that he never takes shit from anybody. So, but he also can't fight, right? So they'll get back to you in different ways, right? So break into your house and put like a bunch of like fish on the walls and shit like that. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
Just do like
Yeah.
simple revenge
It
stuff.
was. Oh, and so the thing was too. So this guy, the reason why we targeted this guy was because
Jackie's trying to clear her name real quick.
was because he had been like house sitting for my friend's family at one point, and he had like gone through her underwear drawer, and so we're like, this guy's a creep. We're gonna fucking teach him a lesson.
How did you find out you did that?
I don't know. She had her reasons.
She probably made it up.
But I think we got him to like admit to it and apologize. Like we really like
Ooh.
held this over his
Yeah.
head.
That is fucked up. That's weird.
You ever sniff a girl's panties?
No, God,
Never?
no.
No, I mean,
I don't
neither.
understand. I wouldn't be into.
I've
like,
told you guys the panty story though.
No,
What?
we got
Oh, dude, don't tell me.
No,
I wouldn't be surprised if you
So-
were doing that. To be honest.
How dare you? Like Will Corey?
yeah, I was gonna say that's a
Fucking-
major Will move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, so
Yeah,
I was-
only Will is the only one who would do
I
that.
was seeing this girl for a little bit, and it wasn't like working out. We had some fun, but it wasn't working out.
Sure.
So it was a very like just pretty just on the level sexual relationship, nothing like too deep, not working out. So we're like, all right. And she's like, hey, like she messaged me like a week after we kind of called it, and she was like, well, I left a pair of panties at your place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I lived in a bachelor apartment at the time, and I'm like, I'm pretty up to date on my laundry.
Yeah.
I'm aware of what's around my home. There's no pair of panties here, like I'm telling you. And she proceeds to describe exactly where this pair of underwear is in a drawer, under a box.
So
like
weird.
it's
Oh, she hid them
She
there
placed
for
them
you.
landed pair of panties. But she's like, I really need those panties back.
Why would she leave them there? Oh, in
George Costanza to get a
Yeah.
second date.
Classic move.
Yeah, apparently this is a classic move. But I'm like, I don't really.
I've never done that. So
I don't know this move,
buy
but I'm like, I'm weird
expensive
because she's
underwear.
like,
I leave
I
her
really need
panties
these
in
panties, but I'm like,
weird
and it was
places.
kind of getting weird, and I'm like, I don't really want to do like a drive-by panty, like you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh here, I'm at
Just
like a,
slingshot it.
out a cab window
This is
on
bang
the bus,
man. They would always do that. The bang bus.
on the number 8 bus. Just fucking, hey yo, honk honk, bitch. Do the loop. So I'm like, I could mail them to you, but I'm like, I even feel weird about that because now it's coming from my address, and someone opens this, and then I get like it comes back to me ultimately, like right, I'm like I don't want to be known as someone's gonna find it. I look like a weirdo here. You're the one who stored your panties in my house or stuffed them
Let
there or
'em
whatever,
go.
Yeah.
right? Let them exactly.
Let 'em go,
Right,
yeah.
they weren't even that great a pair of panties. So I told my friend this, who was female, and I'm like, "This is why you're talking about diabolical shit. No man would have ever thought of this." Okay, she's like, she listens to the whole story, and I'm like, kind of shook up about it because she's like, "Can I get shitty with me?" And I'm like,
Super
"What the
weird,
fuck?"
yeah, fuck
We had this thing. My friend just leans back and she goes,
Or my panties
"She goes,
or whatever.
here's what you do."
Yeah.
She goes, "You go out and you buy another pair of panties."
Yeah.
She goes, 2 sizes smaller than the panties she left at your house.
That's good.
And that's what you give her.
good.
That's like, that is the most
That is
evil fucking shit.
Diabolical.
That's
Oh
good.
man, yeah. What a weird fucking move though. That was like
That's
that was
super
creepy.
weird. Yeah,
that
that
one
is
did feel like
calculated.
oh, you're in like. That's just weird. What are you doing in my drawers and shit for? I didn't even know when she
that's-
did it because I'm like, I was home the whole time in the
Yeah,
bachelor suite.
that
like,
is
did I sleep?
calculated.
That's weird.
I do. Okay, I remember now how she knew that he went through her underwear drawer. Is that the first time
There
he
was
was
cum everywhere.
milk all over the floor?
Yeah, killer pins were stuck together.
So the first time he watched her house, she had a suspicion that he had done it because, like, I don't know, the drawer was all messed up or whatever. And so then the second time he was watching their house, she like left a note in the drawer, like, you know, like, get out of my drawer or whatever. And then he
Makes it even hotter.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I would
leave another note that says no.
Who
No,
personalized
fucking just
notes?
No,
cum
no.
on the note.
No, he messaged her saying nice note or whatever.
Oh
So
my
just
God, what a
okay. So he
fucking
wants to get caught.
Yeah,
Then okay,
yeah.
That's insane.
That's a
like-
whole.
Yeah.
That's
nice
an next
note.
level.
So Justified, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
She's like, the whole reason I'm bringing this back up is
I'm
that
not a complete psycho.
I had a bad moment with a clean pair of panties. There was some stuff left over in the hamper, washed, and then I kind of had it folded. And oh fuck, I'm gonna get in trouble right now. When a girl came over, I was like, oh, and I have a pair of your panties here, and it was just like, these aren't mine. And, like, yeah, so I did have that.
I've
Yeah,
had that,
happen.
but I live with a woman like in our house share. So anytime I'm seeing a woman, I'm like, "Oh, you left this here," and she's like, "That's not mine." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's my roommate's." And
I definitely had to happen when like
Bad
you go
look.
through a breakup or something like that, and then
Sure.
it's like I need my shit back, and you're like, they're like, this is not mine. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
swear. Like, come on, like I
Yeah.
fucking whatever. Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
What do you mean those extra smalls don't fit you? All right, what you gonna do?
Yeah,
That's
Well,
like 2 sizes smaller is the funniest.
that's
thing
like
ever.
the
That's
fucking.
so
That was
good.
like that was. I was like, oh my god, that was some Oppenheimer shit.
Yeah, that's really good.
you see that movie?
I did not.
It's fucking terrible.
Is it?
Bunch of nerds trying to build a bomb for 3 hours. If there wasn't tits, it would have been a complete waste of time. It's not a good
Is it
movie.
another long one? It's a long one, right?
It's fucking way
It's
too long.
Christopher Nolan telling a story of one of the most like historically significant
It's fucking
events
boring,
in the
dude.
past fucking 100 years. I'm not gonna take that advice. I'm gonna watch it with an open mind.
Do.
Yeah, you do.
The sad part was the tits were 20 minutes in, so I was like, all right, this might have potential, and then it's just fucking.
They looped you in early, and then
Oh,
you're just,
yeah,
like,
I was
waiting for
like,
tits
dude,
to
the
come
reverse
out.
swordfish.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Oh, Halle Berry, what a set on her. Anyway, we're talking about your Asian pit there, and you have a weird ability to walk yourself into the fire and kind of win people over in a
nice.
really weird way. Because I'm not gonna say it happens every time.
Oh yeah, a lot of times people hate
And
it.
a lot of times it doesn't, but it does. I did want to tell you that because I was sitting in the back of the room with Will, Corey, and we're just enjoying watching you eat a bag of dicks.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean,
No,
right? Because
yeah.
your friends up there, and I mean, we're all gonna get our turn to do the same. And there's an Asian couple in the crowd, and when you're doing this material, especially this bit that I'm not gonna obviously give away or whatever, go see Daragh on a lineup if you ever see him
Yeah,
around.
you have to hear it in context.
You
first,
really
Yeah,
do.
it's
yeah.
totally
really do.
pro Asian.
But you do these things because sometimes it doesn't work. We ran a show where we had to not let you come back because
That was a different joke. That was about
that
indigenous
was a different
people.
joke.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck,
that
you're-
was
And that one,
you're full of them.
I have retired. After
Your
advice.
It's watching the
Stop
Asian
telling
couple
that
just
joke.
sit and like fucking and back up on you for a second, and then like the moment that you can win them over because like the style of jokes that you like to do are. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess like we're all like dark or dirty comics or whatever. I guess you could say that, but I think like more dirty than I am dark.
Yeah.
You're dark.
I'd say I'm more dark.
I would
Yeah,
say
right.
so.
I'm not talking about sex or anything.
Totally,
Yeah.
right?
It's more just
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
people,
I think
stuff people don't want to listen to.
Well, yeah, it's a
Why
wild-
would you think people would want to come to a show and hear that? I'm
yeah, man. So if I was going to give you any
Not about
compliment, I
you.
would say you take wild swings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you're not afraid of that,
definitely.
which
Wow.
is, you know what I mean? More people should have the balls that you do. Which is,
Even just I don't
or
like,
half a set of them, maybe.
thank you. But I
That's
don't like.
the only nice thing I'm going to say. That's my moment of sincerity.
Yeah.
If you were a fucking asshole and you need help and you're going to be canceled at some point. I'm surprised you made it through the whole hour without saying too much crazy shit.
This has been an hour.
Just about.
It's
Ah,
been-
nice.
yeah,
We didn't
yeah.
even talk about Big L.
We can round
get
it
a
out
little
with
bit
the
of
album.
Big
Yeah,
L.
this
No,
is
with a little
pretty
bit
on
of that's how we
brand.
do
I was
man.
hungover as fuck when you asked me the album. I was nearly gonna pick Lizzo. Just to be like, bitch is getting heat. I'm
Oh,
one of her.
man,
I'm
yeah.
gonna back her up. But
This is where you stand behind her.
So where do you fall into to 90s hip hop and Big L with the 1995 classic Lifestylez of the Poor and Dangerous?
oh, fantastic album.
One of the best. You get a Jay-Z feature here, which is very interesting because fans of Jay-Z, he had a different rhyme style, I think, before.
I didn't
Big
like
L.
Jay.
Not
in
this-
comparison
yeah.
to Big L, like when they came up at
Yeah.
the same time,
Yeah.
Big L was way better.
Oh, yeah. 100% agree.
If he didn't get shot,
Mm-hmm.
he had a lot of questionable homophobic lyrics, which I don't think would have played today.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or they
But,
could have hit
well, yeah,
harder.
but a lot of his stuff, like the first Big L song that I ever heard was Devil's Son. And
Okay, yeah.
it's like probably it's one of the most like out there or whatever, but it's not on this album. But like when Jackie said that you were picking this album, I just immediately said, I break them like breadsticks, I sex chicks, I leave a fucking dead bitch. And I'm so excited that there's so many quotable lines for this.
Oh
and
man, if I catch AIDS, I'm gonna start raping
every
bitches.
fucking
Like,
word. Yeah, exactly.
what? Just like, oh,
I'm the type to snap into heaven with a Mac 11 and rape Christ. You're just like, this fucking dude
man,
is the wildest. You know what I mean? And has like, you know, an ability to like tell stories and keep stuff like, you know, and fun and shit like that too. But like party jams, put it on. You know what I mean? This is like we just did a Mac Miller episode last night. So when you're talking about like an artist like that, where you get to see like, it's a bummer because like what could have been.
man,
Because
he was
his
so
second album,
good. Like,
The Big Picture, has like, you know, like famous features on it and shit like that with like.
That is such a classic story though throughout all of music. Like, it's not even just like I mean hip hop especially. There's so many people that die.
Yeah, with a lot of
But
like
it's
senseless violence and shit like that.
Dude,
sucks,
I
too.
almost
or just
hope, like,
accident, just fucking Buddy Holly and the Big
totally.
Bopper and
Yeah.
Richie
Same thing
Valens.
with
It's
fucking
fucking
overdoses and fucking whatever, right?
Yeah, it's like
whatever
such
the
a story.
case
You're
is,
like,
yeah.
God damn it! And you think about all the shit that they accomplished and all the fucking just monster jams that happened in such a short, really period of time.
Totally.
You're
Yeah.
like, holy fuck! What
Totally.
did you miss out on?
But
Probably.
then
Exactly,
it's
yeah.
also like because a lot of people who don't die young and have really long careers, like kind of they oftentimes will grow up to be fucking assholes and people start hating them. I mean, look at fucking Kanye West. Like he's like he started off like
I'm
his
pro
fucking
Kanye.
first. Of course you are.
Yeah,
of
dude,
course
yeah.
you are.
Did you just give a West Side Connection
Yeah.
sign for Kanye West?
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
what's-
pretty sure he might be a guppy, and he might.
What's
I don't know
a
if he
guppy?
hold his breath.
But I,
Get you cookies.
but I mean, like his first 3 albums were fucking great, and like, I mean, obviously the last few years have been wild for him. But even before then, like his albums really like the quality.
Yeah,
And
they've
so-
fallen off big time.
And so, but
Yeah.
if he had died like after fucking
College
like
dropout, yeah.
graduation
Lot of happy
or whatever, then we would have been like, oh my god, imagine what could have been, or like even like.
What could have been?
Yeah.
He could have been.
But
Or it
even,
always
like,
comes back to
yeah.
Batman. Either you die the hero, or you live
'cause
long
even
enough to
like
see yourself become a
in
villain.
a different genre, like fucking Neil Young, like I mean, not that like doesn't make great music, but like he's just a grumpy old man now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's like, oh god, like I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to hang out with that dude or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like oftentimes, like the people who don't die just like grow up to be fucking dickheads.
Yeah, so Darren,
Except
take a
those-
fucking hint, would you?
Yeah.
Man, I was literally about to say
Yeah.
I'd love if I died on the way home from this. I was like,
You
In the-
were
at the
like
end of it, it was
not
like,
the first guest to say. I believe Harris Anderson said
I was
that.
gonna say,
have you had a
Yeah.
guest die?
There's a
yet?
pack of
No,
dogs.
no, we
No,
haven't.
no.
No,
I'll be
do you know
the-
how many more followers we would have if that happened?
I'll be
Yeah.
the first
We're
one. I
waiting
can
for
promise
one
you
of you
that.
fucking guys to
Yeah.
kick the bucket, and we actually have been considering methods to maybe take it into our own hands. So
Yeah,
you know, who knows? We're trying to do anything we can to grow this podcast.
Yeah, we need to reach a
we're
wider
solid
audience.
in what we do, but we lack growth. So we're trying to figure stuff out, and maybe your death might be the thing that.
Yeah,
gets
it's
us
really
over.
I'm
put us
open
over-
to it. But
So in
Sorry
Ireland,
to
how
go-
do you find like gangster rap in Ireland? What's the
just
what's the
people
hip-hop
love
scene?
rap is like the best music. Well, I like all types
Sure,
of music,
sure.
but just I don't know. Rap is like
Fuck yeah.
my favorite type. Like Big L, especially.
Well, that's the
That
thing, is,
album
like,
I've
when-
listened to, I'd say over 100 times. I had it downloaded on YouTube. I used to go snowboarding at Whistler.
Oh, that's a
wear
good snowboarding
speaker,
album for
Yeah.
sure.
Play that album on full blast, and everyone was
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
"What the?" fuck? like just queuing up for the ski lift. I'm like, "Oh,
To put it on,
It's like
adios,
dicey.
ghost, I'm
Yeah.
gone.
yeah,
Kind of muffled homophobic slurs.
Yeah.
Well, it's Big L for me and Big Pun because they're like a weird.
Oh yeah.
They're the for whatever reason they both fucking like died before their time. Both died before they released their second album, and the work that they managed to get done on those 2 records, both of them is, I think we would even want to call like ahead of their time or whatever, like far beyond the level of like what was coming out. Or, I think like with stuff like genre specific music or whatever, you can like play like kind of like stay in the pocket, or you could do something different. I think that a lot of people like it really takes like something special to like stand out and and to do that, especially in like the early 90s when there's so much good shit happening. For these 2 dudes to just make 2 records and have people still talking about them fucking like 30 years
Stop.
later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Insane.
like
It's
immediately when you were
yeah.
like picking an album, I was like, "Fuck, because I don't really listen to albums or even I was like, can I just pick a random collection of songs? And you're like, no, it's not what the show is. I was like, cool, I respect it.
Daragh Turner's greatest hits.
Yeah.
What a
Darragh's
playlist. I'm
playlist.
fucking.
Daragh
be
just
kinda
makes us
rad.
a
7
mixtape.
minutes
That's
of women
interesting.
screaming.
So
It's like,
funny.
wait, it really picks up around minute 4.
Greatest hits a little too literally.
That fucking rules.
Someone said to me the other day, they were like, what does the GH stand for at the end of your name? Because it's just like, it's pronounced Daragh. And I was like, good hands. Like, terrible. Cut this.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Terrible.
We could have left her on greatest hits.
Oh,
That
we
would've
should
been
have.
so
We will.
funny.
Yeah, we'll cut it there.
Yeah, we'll cut it. We'll cut it. Greatest hits. Daragh, do you have anything coming up that you want people to know about?
Nah, no.
Tell them where they can find
Oh,
you.
in my name, Daragh Turner on Instagram.
That's 1 R. God damn it.
One
Yeah.
One R.
That's right.
Daragh Turner.
Yep. And we will see you at Daragh Bork's funeral. That's gonna be good
I
stuff.
hope I outlive that cunt.
It's gonna be insane.
Yeah, you know.
None of us are. If you're betting smart money, nobody's betting on you.
Yeah, the over-under
Dude,
is
that
on
fella
that.
has
Not
bodies,
good.
man. He's a fucking. He looks. Out of the two of us, he looks way more like a pervert. Like
Oh, well, yeah. But you look way more capable of violence. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
curious
Big
to see
time.
like who could really,
oh man, we'll fight to the death
Well,
at some point.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
yeah, in the Coliseum, perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, there you
yeah, the undercard for Billionaire
there you go.
Showdown is just 2 Irish guys.
Yeah.
Who the fuck
Hell
are
yeah,
these
man.
guys?
Yeah.
Well,
All
Daragh,
right.
you're a beauty. Thanks for coming
Thanks
out.
for coming
Cheers.
on.
No, thanks for having me.
Peace.